What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we are in the shop with this 2012 Ford Fusion with the 3.5 liter V6. We are going to be diving into an overheat concern with this vehicle. So this vehicle is actually owned by a good customer of mine. You will have seen it featured in another video about maybe a year and a half ago. We did the front end, we did tie rods on this. But anyhow, she's having an issue with an overheat, and it's a very specific overheat. This car, if you are in traffic with the air conditioning on, without fail, it's overheating. Now, there's two things that make me lean towards an airflow issue into the front of this car. And those two things are this. Number one, it's happening when the car is stopped. And number two, it's happening with the air conditioning on. The air conditioning adds a lot of heat load to the front of this car because the air conditioning condenser is in front of the radiator. So whatever air is getting through it is being preheated by the air conditioning, and it's not happy and it's overheating. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it up. I'm going to turn the air conditioning on, and I'm going to have you guys set up on the tripod. And we're going to go ahead and see if these cooling fans are turning on. My bet is they are not. Like I said, that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards a cooling fan issue here. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So what we have now is the car is running max AC, and I have this piece of paper here, and I'm just gonna put it here. And right now, these fans aren't doing anything, and these fans are supposed to be running. That's a huge problem. So let me walk you through some of the testing that we've done and some of the testing that they tell you to do, and let's show you what we think the problem is. So what we have here is the cooling fan circuit. This car it's very, very simple. There's not a bunch of relays that we need to check. There is one place, or technically one place, but two wires that we need to be checking power at. So what you're going to have is, depending on which engine you have in your Fusion or your whatever else this works for, the Zephyr or whatever, this will work for a couple of different Fords and Lincolns. You're either going to have a 60 amp or an 80 amp fuse. In our case, this is a 3.5 liter, so it's an 80 amp. You don't even have to crack open the fuse box. I'm just going to show you how easy this is to test. So what you're going to have right here, right where you see my connector being back probed, is the connector for your cooling fan control module. And that's literally where we're going to check for power. And that's going to rule out this whole circuit that goes here to the ground, because we're going to check it directly at the connector. And what you want to see, key on, engine off, you want battery voltage. So hopefully right now you guys can see my meter. Right now it's kind of dancing around because it's not connected to anything. One way that you can test your meter to make sure that it's in good condition, just touch the two wires together. You should see it go down to zero relatively quickly, which is what you see it doing now. You'll see it zero itself out or get close enough to it. So now what we're going to do, just the two big connectors here, or the two big terminals here in this connector, we're just going to go positive, negative, and you'll see we have 12.6 volts at this connector. So we have battery voltage. That means that we have the power going to this cooling fan control module, and it's not doing anything. Now there is one other wire that I'm going to tell you to check. They won't tell you to check this in the service manual, but I think it's important. There is a third wire on that cooling fan control module connector. It is a little guy. It's going to be a white with a blue chaser. That is going to be your input from the PCM. Now, the way that circuit works is, you can think of this cooling fan control module as nothing more than a variable transistor, similar to what you would see on a blower motor. So when it doesn't want the fans on, it's going to supply it with battery voltage. That voltage is going to match the input voltage, and it's not going to do anything. But as the car wants the fans on, it's going to drop that voltage. So right now, like I said, we have our cooling fan control module plugged in. I'm just going to move these wires around here a little bit. Let's plug our meter back in the way I had it before. So we're going to get this wire out of the way. We're going to connect our back probed wire here to the V-hole. And now let's go ahead and connect our negative lead to the battery terminal. So right now what you're gonna see is we have battery voltage, which basically right now 11 volts, the key's on, the engine's off, so we have some things draining the battery right now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my scan tool to go ahead and command these fans on. We wanna see if they turn on, but we also wanna see that voltage drop. It should drop down from the testing I've done previously before recording this to around 1 volt. That's gonna tell us that the PCM is dropping the voltage to the transistor to go ahead and command the fans on. And what you'll see there is our voltage drop to around, like I said, roughly 1 volt. So that right there is what we want to see. The PCM is doing its job. It's trying to command these fans on, and nothing is happening. All right, guys, so we went ahead and replaced that cooling fan control module. Super easy to replace. It's going to be 1 bolt here, 3 plugs. You have 1, 2, and 3, and then this guy slides right up. And what I want to show you right now, we've had this thing running for about 10 minutes now. But if I stick this in here, you can see these fans are blown away and they're nice and happy. So we ended up going with an aftermarket cooling fan control module. Unfortunately, Ford does not offer one for this car anymore. So we went with a Gates FCM144. I'll go ahead, I'll leave one of these in the video description below. I did just go ahead for the customer. I left the old part here. In the car, that way they can have it. But that's how simple this was to diagnose and repair. Luckily we followed the diagnosis the way I think it should be followed. We checked everything we needed to check, and rather than ripping the whole front of this car off to replace a couple of fans, something as simple as a little module. So if this video helped you, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.